we are, the end of July. It's hard to believe that we're only 1 week away from the release of the next Pokemon card set, which is Shrouded Fable. That is a specialty set, a holiday set, if you may. So a lot like what we've seen from Shining Fates, Celebrations, Crown Zenith, sets like that, where there is no booster box. Instead, there's a bunch of different ancillary products, and then it's featured by a capstone product like an Elite Trainer box or an Ultra Premium collection. Now, Shrouded Fable's already kind of a mess because the Elite Trainer box was delayed because an issue with a component in the Elite Trainer box, whatever that component was, I have no idea, but because of that, Shrouded Fable got pushed back. Now, that could mess up things a little bit for competitive play because the World Championships are coming like August 19th, which is a few days before the release of the Elite Trainer box, which means that there's going to be less packs that are available, less product cracked, because the Elite Trainer box is kind of like the bread and butter when it comes to getting Shrouded Fable packs. We still have other products that are releasing next week, so you still have the special illustration rare boxes, those Greninja and Kingdra collection boxes, the King Gamut, the 3-pack blister, the mini tins, those all come out, and then a few weeks after that, it'll be the release of the Elite Trainer box, and then a couple weeks after that, it'll be the Shrouded Fable booster bundle. So I don't know how you feel about Shrouded Fable. I'm excited for Shrouded Fable. I think there's some cool cards in it. Plus, it's nice to have a little bit of a smaller set. We showcased our special binder that was custom made for us that we are going to be giving away for the master set. We give away a master set every new set release to one lucky subscriber. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. And we're going to be really busy over the next month and a half or so because we have Shrouded Fable, and then right after that we have Stellar Crown in September, and then we've got a bunch of bangers coming out. Like, we've got this Dragon set and this Team Rocket set and this Tag Team set and whatever else is going on. It's absolutely madness. But I want to talk about a different specialty set because there is a lot of rumors that are going around about Scarlet and Violet 151. A lot of rumors that have been posted on Reddit. I've been seeing it all over the place on different forums, even comments on YouTube about Scarlet and Violet 151 getting reprinted. So we're going to talk about that in today's video, just to kind of verify everything. First of all, I think it's important to understand exactly how things work and what a reprint really is, because there's a lot of confusion when it comes to reprint, restock. So this is basically just a silly little diagram that I put together. There's two different funnels, basically, that works when it comes to the Pokemon Company and how they distribute their trading cards. Obviously, they have the Pokemon Center website. That's the first and foremost location where you can go to buy Pokemon cards. Always going to be at MSRP. When it sells out, it sells out. Sometimes they come back in stock, but it's never going to be cheaper unless they do like a flash sale or something like that. But it's never going to be more expensive than the manufacturer suggested retail price, which is what Pokemon sets in place because they are the manufacturer. Then there's two different funnels that go after that. So after Pokemon Company's warehouse in Bellevue and wherever else they have warehouses, they ship products to two different branches of the tree, basically. So on the right hand side, you have distribution companies like Excel Marketing, like MJ Holding, and those are the companies that stock your big box store. So when you go to a Walmart or you go to a Target or you go to a GameStop, those are being stocked by a distributor, by a Excel Marketing or an MJ Holding or a place like that. So that is not being sold directly by Target, by Walmart, by GameStop. Now, Target, Walmart, Best Buy, they do have their own distribution platform when it comes to Pokemon cards, but those are going to be what you buy online. So if you go to Target.com and you buy a booster box of, let's say, Obsidian Flames online, you can't buy a booster box in store. You can only buy it from Target.com, so that means it's basically going to be shipped by Target's distribution center rather than Excel Marketing, MJ Holdings. So that is one funnel. So Pokemon has allocated products, which I think has risen quite a bit over the past couple years, especially as demand has increased for Pokemon cards. That is one area of the tree that Pokemon sends products. So they have allocated products for just big box stores, for just these distribution companies, these marketing companies that stock your big box retailer. And then on the other side, you have actual wholesale distributors that work with local game stores or LGS for short, like the Card Coliseum here. I put up Safari Zone, Troll and Toad. Those are a few different examples. What your local game store, your brick and mortar store, will order from a wholesale distributor. So we have a couple of examples up at the top there. GTS Distribution, Southern Hobby Distribution. You can actually go online and just Google who are Pokemon's distributors. You can find a nice list of like 30 different companies within the United States that will sell Pokemon cards to to LGSs, to brick and mortar LGSs, and even to online LGSs. Some of the distributors are starting to open up to online LGSs again, which is great. And then it gets it filtered down to the customer, which you can see at the bottom there. So you can go purchase it from GameStop or Walmart or Target, or you can purchase it directly from the Card Coliseum, Safari Zone, or Troll and Toad, or whatever your other LGS. But you're not going to be able to go and buy from Excel or GTS. Obviously, it would be cheaper if you can cut out the middleman, but this is basically how the distribution system works. Now, when it comes to reprints, Pokemon has warehouses that are already stocked with product, a certain amount of product, and these in-stock lists that they send out will first go to distribution. So they'll go to Excel, or they'll go to a company like Southern Hobby, and they'll say, here's what we have in the warehouse, order what you'd like, and then Southern Hobby will order X amount of products, or X amount of, they'll order pallets of different sealed product that they can then send their own in-stock list to LGSs like the Card Coliseum, Safari Zone, and Troll and Toad. And then the buyers from those companies would then formulate their purchase from a wholesale distributor. When Pokemon decides to reprint something, what they will do is they will email GTS, Southern Hobby, and they'll say, hey, we are going to reprint Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies is going to be reprinted. We're going to do a 5th wave of booster boxes. How many do you want? And then the wholesale distributors will basically compile a wish list of the amount of products that they want. So if they say, we're going to reprint the Elite Trainer box and we're going to reprint the booster box, Pokemon will be like, okay, well, let me know within the next couple of weeks. Here's the date. We'll say August 8th. Let me know by August 8th how much you plan on getting. So that way they can properly print the correct amount, or close to the correct amount. Now, obviously, with a set like Evolving Skies, they're not going to be able to meet demand. But then your wholesale distributors will reach out to LGSs and say, hey, this is coming in the pipeline. There's going to be a reprint of Evolving Skies. It's going to happen in February of 2025. How much product would you like to order? We can put together a wish list, basically, of how much we would like to get. They'll send that over to Pokemon. Pokemon will be like, okay, this is how much we're going to print. This is how much is feasible for us. And then they will send those numbers back as far as allocation goes to wholesale distributors, who will then allocate, basically limit the amount of product that they will give to LGSs. So the distributor might be like, hey, we know you wanted 800 cases of Evolving Skies. Obviously, that's not going to happen. We will be able to give you 100 cases based off of what Pokemon has given to us. So that is a reprint, when Pokemon kind of announces that it's going to happen. A restock is different, because a restock is product that's already in possession or already printed by Pokemon. So Pokemon might have printed 151 products a few months ago, or several months ago, or a year ago. Maybe they just continued to print products, because we have had a very slow release. And you can see that when you go to these big box stores. You can see slow releases of additional products, additional Elite Trainer boxes or booster bundles or things like that continuously hit the shelves. That might just be a few in stock here and there when you go to your local big box store. A restock would be more communicated by Pokemon to distribution, like, hey, here's what we can send you. Are you good with this? That's basically all that it is. That is a restock, because they already have it in progress. So Scarlet and Violet 151, there's a lot of rumors that it's getting reprinted. We'll talk about that in a second. First of all, does it need to be reprinted? That is the big question. A lot of people say no, it doesn't, because it is still readily available for right around MSRP. The thing is, for a long time, a couple years after the pandemic, it was a mess, right? Like, you couldn't find product at MSRP. You were paying $8, $9, $10 for rip-and ships for Vivid Voltage booster packs, and that was completely unfair, because people were just going to big box stores and then buying them out. It was nuts. And then for the next year and a half, the last year and a half or so, we've kind of been spoiled as Pokemon card collectors, because things have been so far below MSRP. The demand and supply have completely shifted, where supply is way bigger than what demand is. And you're seeing Elite Trainer boxes from Obsidian Flames, from Scarlet and Violet Base, from a lot of different sets in the Scarlet and Violet era that are selling for $32, $33, $34, somewhere in that price range, when the new MSRP on those products is $40, $45. So they're selling for $12, $13 below MSRP, which is only a few dollars above wholesale cost. So when you look out there and you see Scarlet and Violet 151 readily available at MSRP, so here's a snip that I just pulled up this morning from Amazon. You can still buy Pokemon or Scarlet and Violet 151 Elite Trainer boxes on Amazon.com, shipped by Amazon, sold by Amazon, eligible for returns. just at MSRP. It's not $15 below MSRP, like what we're kind of used to right now as Pokemon card collectors, but it is available. Then you've got the new Costco deal, the new Costco bundles. If you remember at Costco, you've got the Scarlet and Violet 151 Elite Trainer box, then bundled with these Miraidon and Koraidon tins for $80. Now, I've seen a lot of people kind of going out and buying just an absolute ton of these. I don't know what the whole point of that is. Like, are you really going to break this down and resell it? Because Scarlet and Violet 151 is readily available at $55. So once you factor in $80 for this, yeah, if you sell it for $55 and then you have these lovely tins right here of 8 packs for $20, or what are you getting, like 9 packs for $25, something like that, somewhere around that area. Once you factor in shipping, taxes, fees, things like that, it's just not worth it. But you do have this. If you haven't checked out your local Costco, recommend checking out. You can even go to Costco.com and just see if they will deliver to your residence. But there is still product available for Scarlet and Violet 151. But here's the rub. Here is the information that you're kind of waiting for. So there is going to be more Scarlet and Violet 151 coming. I wouldn't necessarily call it a reprint. You can call it a reprint if you want. That's completely up to you. I just wanted to explain the difference between a reprint and a restock. So there is going to be a restock, but it is a take-all offer from Pokemon. So basically what that means is Pokemon reaches out to distribution and says, hey, we are going to give you a bunch of booster bundles of Scarlet and Violet 151. However, if you are going to take those, here's what you also have to take. So we talked one time about this big storage unit I have of a bunch of Battle Academies. It's a big joke about the Battle Academies because there's so many of them. And a bunch of Pokemon Go product that just doesn't sell well. So it's just kind of sitting as we slowly rotate through product and things like that. So basically Pokemon will be like, hey, you guys, we've got a bunch of booster bundles available for Scarlet and Violet 151. We'll give them to you, $26, but you also have to take all these Battle Academies at MSRP pricing. So it would basically be the equivalent of that, which the Pokemon community, at least for my understanding, is not a fan of. So you don't want to pay $20 for a Battle Academy and also $25 for a booster bundle. You'd love the booster bundle at $25, but not the Battle Academy at $20 because a lot of people don't want that for their collection. Maybe they already have one at a discounted price, or maybe they just have no interest in the Battle Academy product, which is why there's so many of them available. So it is a take-all offer, which basically means, hey, we'll give you more product of Scarlet and Violet 151, but you got to take all of it. And then that gets communicated down. That's when we talked about that storage unit full of Pokemon cards. Same thing. Like you're gonna have to take everything if you want the Scarlet and Violet 151 booster bundles. You're gonna have to take everything else. So keep that in mind as you go out, as you prepare for this restock of booster bundles. There will be some available. They will come down in price, but the rub is, the big thing is, you're gonna have to take other products as well, or at least the LGSs, and then it's up to the LGS to decide. Okay, well, I'll bundle these together and we'll sell it all in one big bundle. There's a lot of stores that do that really well, that people love. There's a lot of stores that try and do it, and people aren't a big fan of it. So if you're looking for a Scarlet and Violet 151 reprint, you will be getting a restock of booster bundles, it looks like. However, it looks fairly small, and at the same time, it looks like it's getting bundled with other items from Pokemon, which means it's going to get bundled with other items from wholesale, which means it might get bundled with other items from LGSs. Or LGSs might be like, okay, we'll just sell them separately. We'll sell the 151 booster bundle separately, but in order to make up for that, we're going to sell them at 32 or 30. It might be above MSRP, or you might just have a nice LGS who's like, oh, you know what, whatever, okay, we'll sell it at 25, we'll sell it at 27, whatever the MSRP is, and we'll just deal with the extra products that we have on hand. So that is the official information from distribution. I talked to a few different distributors. They all basically told me the exact same thing, so I wanted to communicate that properly so you had the proper information. Here's how Scarlet and Violet 151 has been doing. We're going to roll through this rapid fire these next few slides because the market for Scarlet and Violet 151 is basically getting to the point where it has never been since pre-order pricing. So Scarlet and Violet 151, here's the Elite Trainer box. Again, I don't know why unopened Elite Trainer boxes are selling for $69 or $65.02. Now this has come down a little bit, and part of that is probably because it is still available on Amazon, and it is still available now at Costco in those bundle deals. So it has dropped a little bit from $69.66, which was its 6-month high, down to $65.02, but it is still up over 25% over the past 6 months. You can see in February of 2024, we're sitting right around that MSRP price of $51.87, and then grew that 25%. Now it's backed off a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if this continued to drop a little bit more, especially with those Elite Trainer boxes being available at other sources for MSRP. Here's the booster box, or the Elite Trainer box case. This is a little bit better of a deal, but also much more difficult to get because the only place you can really get this is from distribution. You're not going to be able to get this from anybody else. So in LGS, you're not going to be able to go up to Costco and be like, hey, I want to get a sealed case of Elite Trainer boxes. They're just not going to have that available. You can't go up to Target and be like, hey, I want to get a sealed case, because they're just not going to have that available. But you can get it from your LGS, and that's why it's a little bit more exclusive, a little bit more difficult, but much bulkier, right? Like a lot, if you store Elite Trainer boxes by the case, like you really got to have a lot of space. So this is up about 20% over the past year or so. You can see at one point in time it was down to 466.73. When I looked on TCG Player, the lowest listed was quite a bit higher than this. So I do expect this to go up a little bit, even more. But 627.13 is where it's sitting right now. That's a year high for that product. Here's the Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer box. This one was interesting because it did get reprinted. It did get reprinted at one point in time, a few months after the set release. So I remember telling people, like, don't FOMO, don't freak out that it's sold out on Pokemon Center website. And then the release day came and it didn't get restocked. And I was like, oh man, they always restock like on release day. But a few months later they did. And that brought price down. It was on Pokemon Center's website for like a couple weeks as well. So it was on there for a little while. That's why in January of 2024 it dropped down to $82.78 because it was available on Pokemon Center for MSRP. Now it's starting to climb quite a bit. It's back up to $129.09. So it is edging back up to that 1 year high of $157.14. Here's that booster bundle that we were talking about a little bit before. Currently sitting at $47.73, so about $20 above MSRP. The thing is, there's 6 packs in here, like 6 packs. So basically at $47 a piece, you're paying almost $8 per booster pack. That's a little high. So booster bundles, getting a restock of them will bring this price down, which will be nice. But $47.73, very close to its 1 year high, which was $48.54, and that was after, or that was before the set even came out. That was just pre-order scalping going on right there. You can see it fell in March of 2024. That's when we saw a big stock of them kind of replenish at Walmart. I think Walmart had them online for like a week or so where you could order X amount, whatever it was. Here's the sealed display of Scarlet and Violet 151 booster bundles. Kind of a cool product. Doesn't take up too much more space than maybe a couple of booster boxes. Just kind of a different product to have, because again, you can't buy these by sealed displays from big box stores. So you can only really get this from an LGS, which makes it a little bit more unique and holds value a little bit better. In March of 2024, again, after we got that restock of them, it dropped down to $352.83, which is still above MSRP. Now it's gained quite a bit of ground. It's up about 20% over the past year, or over the past 6 months or so, but closing in on that 1 year high again at $524.17, currently sitting at $482.50. Here's the Ultra Premium Collection. These were printed a lot, and again, available at Costco. Costco was selling them at MSRP, and ever since release, you can see the slow organic growth, which is absolutely insane. Ever since release in October, this has been selling well below MSRP of $120 because there was so many of them. They had multiple waves of this that came out, and they were readily available all over the place, and because of that, very slow growth. But now getting very, very close to that MSRP mark. At one point in time, they were at $158. That was pre-order pricing. Then October took that big dive after all those print waves came out of it. Now it's kind of inched back up to that point. So it's sitting at $117.44 currently and continuing to climb up a little bit. Here's the mini tin display. Again, same thing as what we were talking about before with the booster bundle display with the ETB case. A little bit more exclusive because you can only get a sealed display from LGS's, places like that. They're not going to sell them in big box stores. It has calmed down a little bit over the past couple months. You can see hovering right around that $180 mark. It did hit $186 at one point in time, but well above its 1 year low, which it hit in August. Pre-order pricing for this one was fairly cheap, $113.06, so a little bit low, not too bad, and currently sitting at $180.99. So it has gained quite a bit. Now you have these other ancillary products that are a little bit harder to find, like the binder collection right here. This one has started climbing quite a bit. It's up to $45.54, which is a 1 year high. You can see pre-order pricing on this one was right around MSRP, $26.51, so it's gained almost 60% over the past year. The Zapdos EX collection box, these were available at Costco at one point in time. These were bundled up as well. This one has started to gain some ground now. It's up about 12%. You can see in October it was sitting at $20.76, again right around MSRP, and now it's starting to climb. It's up to $28.97, almost at that 1 year high of where it was at during pre-order pricing. Here's the Alakazam EX box, much like what we just saw from the Zapdos EX box. Pre-order pricing right around MSRP at $22.30. Now it's climbed up quite a bit. It's just off of its 1 year high, sitting at $34.77. 32.5% gain over the past year, continuing to climb up now that it's not as available for that one. And same thing with the poster collection. Now, it's not as high as it once was. At one point in time, it did hit $29.28. Remember, this is just a $15 product. There's only 3 packs in here. Then you get the 3 promo cards as well, sitting at $24.92. So this is really the only product that hasn't done as well, but still you can see starting to trend in the upward direction there. Then we've got the Scarlet and Violet 151 booster pack. You might see this drop a little bit, which will be really good, especially if we can get it back down to that $5.50 mark, somewhere around there. What you see with the 1 year low right there of $5.38. It's been growing quite a bit. Scarlet and Violet 151, a really fun set to open. Pull rate's not ideal, but good enough that it keeps the interest in cracking packs. It's currently sitting at $7.16 for a booster pack, which is well above that MSRP price point. It's gained about 26% over the past year and continuing to trend upward. This restock should bring this down a little bit. The deal that you see on Amazon, on Costco, that should bring it down a little bit. So I don't think we'll go much higher than this $7.16 mark here. The big three. We're going to look at the big three real quick. The Charizard EX continues to trend upward, sitting at $122.94 currently. I did look, I think yesterday it was down a little bit. The Pokemon market in general is very volatile right now. A lot of singles are really falling flat and falling fast. A lot of alternate arts as well, which we may have to follow up on some of the other alternate arts we didn't talk about last week. But in April of 2024, this was sitting at $102.69. Looked like it was going to drop below $100. Now it's been trending upward, up and down a little bit, but still consistently moving up, sitting at $122.94 currently. Then we've got the Blastoise EX, which has been relatively flat for about a year. About 20% of a difference between its 1 year low and 1 year high. So a little bit big on the swings, but in April of 2024, sitting just shy of $41, and now sitting at $46.40. It's right in between its 1 year high and 1 year low. Its 1 year high was hit in June, $50.46. Then we've got the Venusaur EX. This one has actually done a little bit better than the Blastoise because it has been more consistently trending in the upward direction. Although, like what we saw with Blastoise in April of 2024, it hit that 1 year low of $35.85. Again, about 20% difference between its 1 year high and 1 year low, but all of its gains happened over the past 5 or 6 months now. It's up about 13.5%. Sitting at $43.55. So to sum everything up quickly, is there going to be more Scarlet and Violet 151? Yes. Would I call it a reprint? I wouldn't. I would call it a restock because that's how it's communicated to me. It's already existing product in my mind. It's being bundled with other stuff, which could impact the market a little bit, but probably not as much as what I think a lot of people are hoping for. I think a lot of people want to see $35 Scarlet and Violet 151 Elite Trainer boxes, kind of like what we've seen from Paldean Fates, kind of like what we've seen from Shining Fates. I don't think we're going to get that low. It's just not big enough of a restock, and there hasn't been an announcement yet about a full-fledged reprint on some of these products, like what we saw with Pokemon 151 from Japan. Those boxes got destroyed because there were multiple reprints and rumors of another one still that really hurt the market price on those. It doesn't seem like we're getting that, at least not now. It does seem like we're getting a restock, but it looks like it's going to get bundled with other stuff. So be careful with the information that you get out there. Obviously, make the best decision when it comes to spending your collection dollars. Scarlet and Violet 151 is a great set, but there's a lot of great sets coming as well. So make sure you make the best decision for you. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. You know the drill. You guys are awesome. I love you. I'll be back on Sunday with another video. Until next time, peace.